All right, time to work. Just gotta figure out the perfect idea. Wait, is this idea too simple? Will people even like this? Should I just be doing something else entirely? Come on, Brittany, you're wasting so much time. Girl, look at all these tabs you gotta just choose one. You got this. Why is this so hard? Maybe I just need a quick break. Well, that wasn't really productive at all. It's fine. I'll just try again tomorrow. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Analysis paralysis, man, it'll creep up on you, and next thing you know, you've done nothing the entire day. With that being said, have you ever been so overwhelmed that you literally just freeze? And before I really dive into this, I accidentally deleted literally the first half of this entire video, so I'm redoing it right now. So if you notice any weird inconsistencies, just roll with it. Okay, roll with it. So I've been staring at my projects lately and analyzing every little detail, and then I realize I haven't moved an inch. Has anybody been there? Because if so, then guess what? Me too. We're in this together. So the topic of discussion for this video is: what is analysis paralysis, how it sneaks up on us as creatives, and most importantly, how to navigate it. So you probably have seen my short form video that I posted, but the definition of analysis paralysis is overthinking a decision to the point of inaction. It's kind of like being at a mental crossroads and not knowing which path to take. One example, and one that truly rings home for me, is over-researching gear, techniques, tutorials, blase, and never actually starting to record a video or start a project for that matter. And don't get me wrong, this is not just something for the creative. This is literally everyday life. So it could be like a big decision, a job you want to take, a big move, a relationship. It can literally creep up in literally any scenario. So let's briefly talk about why analysis paralysis happens. I'm pretty sure there's hundreds, thousands of reasons why analysis paralysis can happen, but just a couple, at least a couple that I've experienced. We can be fearful of making the wrong decision, making the wrong choices, which that'll really slow you down. If you're a person like me, having all these options and just not knowing like which is the right direction to take, I don't want to choose wrong. So you choose nothing. Perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a big one. I'm actually going to do a video on that in the coming weeks. But that's essentially feeling as though you're not good enough, even though everything about everything says you are. You deserve to be here, but you tell yourself that you don't. Another one is, like I just said, having too many options. Like going to a restaurant that specializes in chili cheese dogs, and they may have 3 different variations of chili cheese dogs, and that's your menu. That's your choices. It's so much easier to choose as opposed to going to a menu that serves Mexican food, Chinese food, Indian food. Like having all these options, it clouds your thinking, and you be like, do I want Chinese? Do I want Mexican? I might want some chow mein. Too many options, it slows you down, and it can cause analysis paralysis. It can cause you to just sit there and not choose anything. So too many options, and in many cases not enough clarity, that can really cause analysis paralysis. Now that we know what analysis paralysis is and what can cause it, let's just talk about quickly How to overcome analysis paralysis. A few actionable steps. Number one, give yourself a deadline. Like if it's a decision that needs to be made, you have time, it's not like a project, give yourself a deadline. Same as with decision making. If you know you have an opportunity that you have to decide on and you have 3 weeks to correspond with the person who's presenting the opportunity, then give yourself a week to just think about it. Like no action, really just like pros and cons. Sleep on it. Like I said before, it's go time, baby. Time to make that decision. For some opportunities like mine, your deadline is kind of baked into the opportunity. They're like, Brittany, we need to know what's up by this date. So that makes it a little bit easier. It's a little less pressure because that decision has kind of been made for you. But just know that date will come quick, especially if you're not prepared for it. So prepare, do your due diligence, make your decision in your right state of mind, your right frame of mind, so that when it's time to be like, yes or no, you feel good about your answer. Focus on my hand. Number two, start small. Start with what you can. Don't think about the whole project as a whole. Think about your first step, then your next step, then your next step. Next thing you know, you're gonna look back and be like, oh look, oh snap. Don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed looking at the whole entirety of the project. Just look at what you have to do right now in this moment to get to that next step. And then those steps, there's a book on this. Just think about the step right in front of you. And then if that's all you're focusing on, eventually you're gonna get to the top of that mountain and you're gonna look back and be like, oh, we didn't came far. For 3, limit your options. We talked about this earlier. We talked about this in my short form video. Analysis paralysis, it loves infinite options. It does. Number 4, progress over perfection. There we go. I used to struggle a whole lot with this, and I still kind of do sometimes when it comes to planning, like planning my content, planning, making bigger decisions. I'm like, I need to know everything. I need it to all be like all my I's dotted and my T's crossed. Like I need to know every aspect of everything before I be like yes or no. There's been times where I literally had to snap out of it and tell myself, just hit record. The videos will attract the audience that is supposed to be here. So just hit record and just do it. Done is better than perfection. So just stop waiting for things to be perfect and just get it done. And number 5, sometimes you just gotta take a break. Just step away for a minute and then you can come back with a clear mind. When I was like really trying to get into like music production, there'd be times where I'm like working on a little beat, got my little thing going, but I'm hearing mush up to a certain point. I just hear, it's just cloudy. It's just like, I don't know if this is good. I don't know what's going on. I'd be like, you know what? I need to give my ears a break. So I would walk away, close down the program, go eat, go do something else, maybe even wait until the next day and come back, and I would play it like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like you need fresh ears sometimes and fresh eyes too. So sometimes just stepping away, doing what you need to do, and coming back, it gives you a new perspective of the same work. So now let's take a quick moment to talk about preventing analysis paralysis in the future. Building healthy habits. Like the power of habit, it goes both ways though. Bad habits, good habits can be astronomical or detrimental to your career, to your life, to your entire world. So focusing on your habits is a big one. Establish a workflow and a creative routine. Like if you know that you can burn out, if you know that if you work, I can struggle with this too, because sometimes you get in a flow state, you get in a state of like, I just love what I'm doing. I'm like in a zone and 8 hours has passed. And yeah, you may have gotten a lot of work done, but for your mental state, for your health, take a break and bake that into your workflow. Bake that into your creative flow. Okay, here's a good one. Set non-negotiable deadlines for your decisions. Like you have to treat what you're doing like you would a boss that you love. Because I get it. You can have a boss that you hate or a job that you hate. And you're like, I don't give 2 craps about them. But if you're treating your business, your brand, your project, your work, your whatever it is, as if it's for someone you love, which it should be for someone you love. You should love yourself. it makes it a little bit easier. You tend to want to do good things and do nice things for the people you love. Ooh, something we don't do often. Well, I don't know. Maybe we do. Celebrate the small wins and the small victories. Take a shot if that's your thing. Whatever it is, don't go overboard, but celebrate your small victories. Yes, simplify your tools and your resources. Limit your usage of scrolling different apps that aren't productive. As I talked about, I'm navigating through my own case of analysis paralysis right now. And the steps that we talked about in this video, I'm putting them to practice. So I would encourage whoever is watching this video, hopefully this video helps someone down the line eventually. I feel like this is very evergreen. So it's something that can, at any point you can watch this and be like, oh snap. So I just hope that these little steps in this video can help anybody who's experiencing analysis paralysis. You got decisions and stuff that you need to make. I hope that this can help, and start a conversation. Realize that there's a community out there of people who's also struggling creatively or in decision making, and there's ways to navigate it. You don't have to just like shrivel up into like a black hole. You can, so if you've been stuck, if you've experienced this and maybe you didn't know the name for it, but if you've been in this position of just not really knowing what direction to move in, let me know in the comments below. What's holding you back? Maybe we can help each other out. Who knows? Just remember that creativity is a journey. It's not a destination. So let's just keep moving forward. Even if it's one little tiny baby step at a time, that's forward motion, and that's what we want. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. And yeah, I hope this was helpful to someone out there. All right, bye.